My name is Lanre Marcaulay. I currently live and work in North America, specifically Canada, and I work for Deloitte Canada. My role covers both Canada and some parts of the US as well. I'm currently the senior manager here, and I have teams that cut across both Canada and the US, and I head the cyber cloud, which is the cloud security team here in Canada. And I have been in organization that's in the last 5 years. In total, my experience cut across 16 years, which are cut across infrastructure, cut across, cloud technology and cybersecurity, way back since 2012, specifically, altogether. I've always been intrigued about protecting assets, what happens, going to the mind of hackers and things like that. And initially, I was much interested in e-business because I was in development, application development for a while. And I was interested in e-commerce, e-business, and I realized also there's a need also to protect e-commerce, e-business online. And I was interested on, okay, how can you protect critical assets, data, infrastructure, online presence of those assets, ensuring that the data is being well protected, and then getting to the mind of hackers and, hey, how can we ethically be able to sort of protect those assets and those things, those curiosity were the things that really make me to pursue a career. Having spent time on application data, infrastructure platform for a while, I wanted to sort of, hey, let me satisfy that curiosity. And that's one of the major reasons why I decided to pursue a career in cybersecurity. Couple of sacrifices because initially I was, focusing mainly on application infrastructure. And as I said, e-commerce, e-business. Then I was a program manager as well. So I was into project management and things like that. I did some training at some point as well. And going into cybersecurity for me required a lot of prerequisite and foundational knowledge that I need to have. One of them majorly then, because everything I do then from infrastructure lens, there was not so much I do in the area of networking, right? And I look at it, okay, so I have data, right? I understand data, I understand application, I understand infrastructure very well, but networking was an area that I needed to have some depth to go into cyber to do it, right? So good enough, I have a lot of good family support. And then even at work, the organization I worked for at that point in time, and that's way back in 2009, they really were interested in, hey, whatever you want to do, we're going to support you. And so I took some time off, have trainings in networking. So there was a couple of sacrifices that I have to do while doing my normal business as usual work. I have to sort of take interest in getting involved in networking projects so I can understand. And then good enough, the organization did a lot of projects in networking then. So I had knowledge that I need in cybersecurity. But hey, they all pay off eventually. As I mentioned, that aside my own personal effort and sacrifices, and then of course, good, family, and of course, God as well. I also see the ECCU University provide the good foundation that I needed to build on what I have already. I think the curriculum was very good enough to sort of let you build on the foundation of what you have already, let you understand the specific things you need to know in cybersecurity and build upon it. And at the same time, it will be a good blend for me to be able to get into an environment and be able to sort of deliver and deliver the right value and impact. I'm a cloud security leader here, and my role covers not just cloud security but broader cyber. And my day to day, basically, because the work involves both technical and program level times of oversee. So I cover all the domains in cybersecurity. So what that means is organization doing transformation, large transformation on cloud. And from security lens, my role is overseeing the security program delivery, which right from security architecture, design, security control guardrails, providing those guardrails, and then also helping the organizer to select the technology, security tools, chain to be able to implement those guardrails. And not just that design and providing the guardrails already, but we also just go in as part of that program delivery plan to implement each of those controls. And I'll give you a practical example. Identity and access management. The organization already have on-prem identity and access management. They also have in cloud, for instance, Enter ID, or they're using IGA, Opta, or SailPoint. Aside just calling out those control, I'll also help them to say, hey, for the federation implementation, these are the features that we need to configure on each of the platform on-prem and for cloud, and what the hybrid is going to look like. High-level component, high-level design is being done. And then I also make sure that we implement and test those things out and then bring it back to the executive leadership and say, hey, this is the impact of what we've done based on the architecture. And this is security operation lens that the team needs to take on. Security engineering wise, this is what they also need to do to ensure they maintain what has been done as well. So BAU, right? Aside program delivery within Deloitte, I also support Deloitte Global as well, which is of course team across US, Australia as well. And those things are different projects across different teams. Pretty interesting role, cut across architecture, governance, operation, design, program delivery, and then some people management as well overall. I mean, interestingly, we start seeing the future start right now with the influx of AI everywhere. Artificial intelligence, machine learning. We're seeing a lot of RAGs, LM models. Folks are, consuming, ChatGPT, of what people know, Grok and AI Seek. We're beginning to see a lot of AI agents, open source AI agents being leveraged on. And we see that one of the major future that we're seeing right now, that a lot of people would depend on AI agents. They would depend on AI, RAGs, LLMs, and they're consuming them. And that becomes risk to data, risk to even human in the middle, right? Risk to the platform themselves, because right now there's no standard to protect some of these agents. And that's where security comes in to say, hey, what are the controls that your organization should have, bare minimum, to allow your staff to consume, for instance, Microsoft Copilot, or consume ChatGPT or any of the private or control racks that the organization wants to leverage. And so we're seeing a lot of influx of AI first coming up. Of course, quantum computing is already in the corner. And a couple of things also that organizations begin to look on. That right now is not happening, right? But I've said AI will take the first front, and then we're seeing quantum computing. We've seen a lot of those also playing in cloud. So cloud security becomes an area of concern. So big piece of it is we're going to see a lot of security folks, they have to level set and, improve their skills around understanding AI as a platform, understanding AI agents, and see how best we ensure data protection, privacy, security control guardrails as part of that going forward. I mean, there are a couple of reasons why, way back then, why or ECCU University. Number one, I mentioned earlier on, when I look at the curriculum, I saw that this covers the right foundation, the right level of advanced knowledge that I require in cybersecurity at that point in time. So, building on what I have from hands-on experience and years of experience also in IT at that point in time. EC Council certifications were, everywhere, Big Buzz, CEH, Certified Ethical Worker, even LPT, ECSA, CHFI. Those certifications are, they're everywhere at that point in time. And I see that, hey, this is the best way to have the right foundation and be able to have each of those certifications as well. And eventually have all the certifications from EC Council from cyber standpoint, which makes a lot of sense. The other piece also is I realized that at that point in time, it was a university when it comes to cyber that was recognized globally, right? Not just from the US standpoint, but EC Council certifications or training or knowledge industry recognized. Yeah, so the program has empowered my career transformation in so many real way. First one, I said earlier on that it sort of build the right foundation for me in cybersecurity. So everyone always say, "Hey, I have debts in cybersecurity," and all thanks to ECCU University was the beginning of that. And that also gave me a head as regard to I was having rapid promotion. I ended up becoming the CTO, right, of an organization, chief technical officer of an organization, heading security and heading the IT team as well. And those sort of come from the in-depth, right, experience and knowledge that I garnered from UC Council and I built upon over the years. And then when I get across also to North America, it was very clear, right? I already have cut my teeth, right, in cybersecurity. And all of those come, at the beginning from EC Council University as well. So today I'll say, yes, EC Council University provided that foundation, provided that in-depth, knowledge and experience for me to further on. And that keeps showing at every level of my promotion and as I move upward in my career ladder. The master program at that point in time covers foundation, cybersecurity, for instance, network security, Linux security, other security domains, security architecture, a bit on also on cloud security, network security as a domain itself, right, and then governance and other pieces as well. One of the areas that really helped me to start off, which I leverage on as of today, is the security operations side of things, understanding what are the threats, right? What type of attack techniques? Now we have MITRE attack framework, but beyond that, understanding the respective types of threats, what type of levels that an attacker will take, right, when they are attacking or being malicious towards your assets. So reconnaissance, they gather information from the beginning, right, and then from that, once they see the vulnerability that exists, right, then they begin to sort of, identify those threats area that they want to attack. And understanding that attack to chain was one major aspect that I applied to every project that I do. So I clearly understand that, hey, this is how organizations, this is how exposed your attack surface is. This is how clients can gather your data from a reconnaissance standpoint. And once they understand the vulnerabilities, this is how they will begin to exploit those vulnerabilities, right? And then also, this is how they can leave a foothold in the door that make them to come back again as a backdoor entrance. And so advanced persistent threat, APT, and all of those backdoor type of vulnerabilities, those things exist. So that now make me to rewire my thinking as regard to the level of controls that needs to be in place across each of these layers. Number one, how can I prevent an organization attack surface to not be so open online for people to gather implicated data, right? Or implicative data rather, and how can I also ensure controls are in place for them not to be able to do backdoor or explore some vulnerability that's been identified. So I see this happening in majority of my project, both from security engineering standpoint and security operation as well. I would recommend the EC Council Cybersecurity Master Course to anyone that wants to further their career, right, in cybersecurity and wants to have the right foundation as a building block to make sure that they know the right what is required to know within cybersecurity and build upon that. First one is career benefit, right? You have the right foundation. You are very confident to be able to apply for some specific roles, and aside being confident, also to be able to ace those roles and get into the job and make the right impact and contribution to the organization because you have the value already, which you got from the program. The second piece also is, of course, what you're going to gain in terms of the learning experience. The learning experience is quite very rich. It's a blend of both theory and also hands-on, because you have a lot of cyber range that you're going to play with, and those gives you some specific hands-on experience that you are looking to have. And aside that, also because of the industry recognition that you get, right? So when people see those type in yours on your CV or in any of your profile, instead of let them know that you must have gone through the right training and you have the right foundation and qualify as well to apply for those roles. Yes, it does make learning easier, especially for individuals that are working mainly, busy 9 to 5, and then it's easy to get your assignments, get your videos to watch online. It becomes difficult to sit in a class if you are busy with your normal daily job, day job rather, and it becomes difficult for you to sit in a class and go through, training. So for your break time or you just finished work, it's easy to sort of quickly get online and go through your classes that are pending, take a look at your assignment. So sort of make it easy for you to consume the content, makes it easy to collaborate with other folks in the class, and at the same time getting your assignment done, and then further readings, right, post to those classes, and then ability to go do, on demand after classes over the weekend. That is something that was very valuable to make the program quite very smooth and easy. ISI Council University was the university that's actually pushing the mandate on ethical hacking or offensive security or security operation. So, from the global perspective, the recognition that the faculty from EC Council University have at that point in time really make the program very attractive, and a program that, hey, you want to be sure that, hey, you're part of this because you know the people that is taking the cost, they know the onion. So global perspective, well-recognized faculty, and then not just, the name, but also they deliver the content, right, based on the curriculum, and that's the big value add as part of the program. In the real world cybersecurity landscape, you're seeing the security governance, the security architecture, the security operation, and security engineering. And what the curriculum of the ECCU University actually call out specifically is how to meet each of those real world, right, requirements. So you have the curriculum being structured for you to understand security operation, either from the infrastructure layer, Linux, window, network, and then understanding how to architect security controls on top of that. And that's the security architecture lens of it. And how do we implement those controls? Security engineering layers come as part of that as well. And then the last one is when it gets into the live environment, how do we continue to monitor runtime? How can we continue to improve? How do we continue to mitigate things? How continue to respond from incident response? The curriculum sort of structured in that way to meet those real world, scenarios and requirements. Majorly, I think the enrollment advisors make it very smooth when we're onboarding. Interestingly, some level of scholarship were offered at that point in time as well. And I think those scholarships come very handy. And the enrollments, advisors also take their time to sort of profile you to understand your level of skill, experience, hands-on experience you have in the industry. How relevant are those experiences to coming into the program? What are the things you need to focus on? I think the onboarding really helped from that standpoint, and also the check-ins within the program also was very helpful. So cases where you have some classes where the assignment that were given and their concerns around them, it was easy to get across to the faculty. If you can't get the faculty or you want to get additional support, there are enrollment advisors that are also available to be able to come in and provide the support needed or clarification needed as well. So that really made the program quite very smooth and you're getting the support that you needed as well at that point in time. For me, no, I did not face any challenges. I think the good thing is when I got involved in the university initially, I got involved in the e-commerce stream. And I remember clearly that the enrollment advisor helped me to say, hey, now that you're interested in cyber in the second year, if you have a very good grade, definitely you'll move into cyber. And interestingly, I had a very fantastic grade, and that's how I get to move into cyber in the second year. And that gives me the foundation I needed. So that's the only minor challenge that I have, but the enrollment advisors make it easy for me to move into cyber. And across the program, as I said, I had good support over time. And so there was no any major concerns, right, for me to say, hey, in completing the programs, I couldn't be able to do that. Sometimes assignments could be, daunting, I'll say, right? Because you have a couple of back-to-back assignments, you have cyber range you have to complete, and those things sometimes you have to do them over the weekend. So a couple of hours I have to put in over the weekend. So sometimes that could be a sacrifice, I'll say, right? Some level of sacrifice I have to do. But other than that, I think it was just normal program and then the input you have to put in just to make sure that you come out with flying colors. So I'll say this, cybersecurity is a domain that's quite very unique compared to your career because there are specific things that you need to have as foundation. And in cybersecurity, you walk the talk. You just don't talk. You know what you're talking about. You can deliver it. You can solve the problem. You can mitigate the issues. So if you're looking to grow your career and becoming a leader, or right now you are in middle management, or you're looking to become a leader in cybersecurity, I would advise you to make sure you check your foundation very well. Go for a program that will help you to have the foundations or the gaps that you're missing in any way. And then also look at, hey, what are the respective building blocks that I need on those foundation, right? So for instance, you're asking yourself in the 9 or 10 domains of cybersecurity, do I have the right building blocks on the foundation? And then ability to now be able to say that when you get to leadership, ability to know you have the right certifications to show, and not just have the right certifications, but knowing what the certifications deliver, come into the room, come into the organization, and be able to deliver and make the right impact, contribute meaningfully in respect to those experience.